Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up. Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
He got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablos asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people. And the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapist. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching, quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to stick the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond company. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Virginia's George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think the kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether there's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Yay! Yay! Good morning, everybody! Yay! Happy Monday. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel. And there's just been some weird stuff going on over the weekend. Like, not a lot of like big, giant news. Obviously, people have been talking about Don Lemon all weekend and the ICE stuff and whatever, but like nothing really, I don't know, earth-shattering new stuff. I mean, more of the same old. But there's some really stupid stuff that I gotta look at today. And I just glanced at the headlines of the articles, so I have to go through them a little bit. But just some stuff that I'm going, what? What? You stated what? And so we're gonna do that. And there's a lot of debate on the internet about what ICE is doing and whatnot. And I think there's some things they do that are stupid. I have one of those today. But again, the word is, a question, do you support ICE? Yeah, I support ICE. I'm not gung-ho ICE if they're doing shit that's wrong. But I support their mission 100%. Of course I do. It should be supported. So, but everything they do is right in my mind, just like anybody else. Okay. So they need to fix, they got to fix your shit. You know what I'm saying? But the mission is correct as far as I'm concerned. Because of the wonderful things he does. So we're going to talk about that and more, of course, but that's, and new stuff like we do every day. But let's say hi to everybody and get it going. So first in chat today, Avocados Diablo is first. Yeah. You received the Bell of Glory. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning, Somnambul Nation. Excuse me, Renee. I was choking down a bowl of Reese's Puffs before the show started. And I was like, I only got a bit left. I got to choke this down. Because Lady Boomer and I broke down and bought some Reese's Puffs for the first time in about, I'm going to say 3 years. Because just whatever, we were in Sam Club, we saw this giant box of Reese's Puffs. We're like, okay, let's buy it. And so we're trying to get through it so we can never buy it again, because it's really shit for you, but it's so tasty sometimes. Anyway, hello, also Kara Soldier, Green Badger Outdoors, Sure You Gospel, Unholy Queen, aka Midnight, our young friend. How you doing? Also, who else is here? It was kind of just you for a while. Simon Wilkins is here. JB, what up, J Blizzard? Moist Tree Rat, aka TC's in the house, and Blue Eyed Scream, and that looks like everybody. Is that everybody? Did I miss anybody? If I missed you, just put something else in the chat and I'll figure it out eventually. I kind of scrolled down a little too fast. So anyway, hi everybody. Also, thanks to people sharing the show. I saw a couple funny ones on here. And y'all beat me. Yeah, you really beat me to it. Here's thank you, Somnambul Nation. Also, always posting the show very quickly. And then this, replying to mine. By the way, hit the link or whatever in the top of the chat and reply to my post of the show with a let's go with a GIF and or funny meme. To which this is Sunshine and Coffee. Yeah, the old rooster there kicking up some coffee. My coffee today is brought to you by none other than UPS. If I open it and try to drink it, see what Brown can do for you. Also, thank you, Green Badger Outdoors, dropping a little military hardware, like as always. I should probably repost this one too. And this one was the funny one though. Somnambul Nation with a little I'm your dingleberry. No, Ty, you're not invisible. I'm sorry. Let me come back to that in a second. But the I'm your Dingleberry with the little Don Lemon face in there. That's hilarious. I'm your Dingleberry. Yes, Pope Tyrannus III, the blessed lich with today's message of hope, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. And Pope Tyrannus says, blessing of the Holy Ghost, remember to be a good neighbor. Sometimes being a good neighbor is doing a great kindness without desire for reward or recognition. So, and some, like in my neighborhood, being a good neighbor is sometimes just taking that snowblower and blowing out the neighbor's driveway for them, because you know she doesn't have a snowblower and it's a pain in the ass for her. So sometimes I just run across. She's actually across the street. Every once in a while, we'll just go out and blow her snow for her. So also my neighbor over here does it too. We kind of take turns if it's a heavy snow, helping out the neighbors with getting their driveways cleared. So that's a good idea. Thank you very, Tyrus. Yeah, Tyrannus. There you go. You get the angels singing for that one. Also, and somebody else show up? No, nobody. Oh, Zach Osborne. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Nice to have you here. All right. Other people sharing the show. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Oh, this girl just wants to argue. Thank you, TC, for posting the show. Appreciate it. And Midnight, of course, and I can't retweet it, and we got a woo, Ric Flair. Thank you. I need to just get a sound effect woo for that to get him saying it. And thank you, Ty Alexander. All right. Now, what's this bitch saying to me? No, we are arguing the same thing. I'm arguing that she was not impeding. She can't be having left the scene. Oh my God, this person's so fucking stupid. I'm not going to reply to it now. I can't do it. She's dumb. Holy balls. This woman's dumb. All right, let's get into the show. Now, normally, when the first show of the month is on the first day of the month, my little friend shows up, and I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen my friend, the Rabid Rabbit, because we say rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month. First thing out of your mouth, saying rabbit, rabbit, you should have good luck for that month, right? And I'm a little disappointed. Usually he's just like, he's just always here. And he's not today, and I feel bad. I feel slighted a little bit. Oh, he slept in? How would you know that, Avocatus Diabli? How would you know that the rabbit slept in? How would you know that? Are you sleeping with the rabbit? Just curious. Anyway, let's celebrate the other holidays, though. The other holidays. Today, it is National Hedgehog Day. So, if you got a pet hedgehog, pet your hedgehog. That's not a euphemism, although it could be. I know her. Anyway, also National Tater Tot Day. Yeah, National Tater Tot Day. I love me some tater tots. And in Minnesota, we love us some tater tot hot dish. And if you have no idea what tater tot hot dish is, you are missing out. I'm just saying. It's Crepe Day, so celebrating in France. Groundhog Day, though. That's the one I wanted to do. It is also Groundhog Day when Tuxapani, whatever Phil, comes out and tells you whether or not we're going to have 6 weeks more of winter or it's going to last forever. This winter's already lasted forever. We finally, though, have some... in Minnesota, we're finally seeing some temperatures above zero. It was 17 degrees out yesterday. And when Lady Boone and I walked out of the garage, we're like, oh, wow, it's kind of nice out here. Because it was, we've been below zero for a long time. And we walked out and we're like, oh, It's kind of balmy. I just barely needed a light jacket because it was 17 degrees, which I'm sure not a lot of you can relate to. Some of you can because you live up north like I do. But anyway, Groundhog Day, National Brown Dog Day. I guess I'll go have to pet my dog because he's brown. He's brown and black, so he's a mixed race dog. National Ukulele Day. National Catcher's Day. Wonder if that's a euphemism, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm brown too, true. Sled Dog Day, National Frank Day, your name's Frank. My middle name, yeah, Francis. National Heavenly Hash Day. That's like that dessert, right? Marmot Day. What the fuck what's a marmot? Is that the same thing as a groundhog? Or it's got to be related because it's got the teeth. National Sicky Day. What? Feeling fluid? Whatever that. National River Day. There's a lot of days today. Feast of Candelaria. I don't know what country that's in. Groundhog Job Shadow Day. What? Groundhog Day is not just for predicting the weather. It's also a chance to shadow your dream job and discover new career possibilities. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Hi, Chris. What's up? Welcome to the show. National Brendan Day. Your name's Brendan. National Creative Guadalupe Hidalgo. Isn't that when we bought California and New Mexico and all that shit? And then there's another one I can't pronounce. Fuck it. I'm done with the holidays. It's dumb. But it is Groundhog Day. And Puxatawny Phil apparently showed up. Someone here says, not bragging or anything, but I used to be the neighbors with the baby rescued groundhog that went on to be Puxatawny Phil. He used a litter box, loved spaghetti, and cheese curls. When he got too big, he was given to Phil's handlers, and used as Phil for many years. Oh, I got it. Anyway, let's see. This just in: Puxatawny Phil has gone underground to avoid ice. Rumors over possible Canadian citizenship and illegal entry through the Catskills are unsubstantiated. Well, damn. Where is it? Okay, here it is. This is, he sees his shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. You know, look, which in Minnesota, let's see, September, that'd be the middle of March. We would welcome 6 more weeks of winter because a lot of times we'll get snow at the end of March, sometimes at the beginning of April, sometimes at the end of April, sometimes we'll get snow in May. It's rare, but 6 more weeks of ice. Yes, 6 more weeks of ice. So anyway, yeah, here's the official decree of Puxatawny Phil and the knuckleheads and wherever they do that in Pennsylvania. Where is that in Pennsylvania they do that? Do anyone know what? Oh, Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler. Oh, God. They do it in Gobbler's Knob. I know that chick. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Hi, Maddie. And Liberty Vet, welcome to the show. All right. So here's the official whatever Gobbler's Knob thing and whatever that stupid rodent's name is.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Wait a minute. Stop. Doesn't that look like, doesn't this guy, can you see my cursor? Can you guys see my cursor? That looks like that actor, Paul something. What's the dude's name? Didn't he look like that actor? You know what I'm talking about. Anyone know who I'm talking about? I can't think. Yeah, Paul Giamatti. But that's not him. That's not Paul Giamatti, but it looks like Paul Giamatti.
It's February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers.
Or is it? Is that him? It looks like him.
Prognosticate.
Punxsutawney Phil. Thank you, Liberty Vet. Thank you for the phonetic spelling because it always messes me up. Oh, Ghost Wolf Pro. That's you're one of the friends of Midnight and Ms. Wild Wolf, right? Welcome to the show. Nice to have you here.
Leader of all prognosticators.
It's not him, but it looks like him.
Was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed President Dunkel to the proper scroll, which reads,
It's not him.
It's my great honor.
Look at all the
to
people
answer
there.
your annual-
You know, that's got to be a bucket list thing. Would you love to go there sometime for Groundhog's Day? Because they have a big old party. It's just everyone gets drunk and shit. But still, I would be hilarious.
Call. So I rise again this morning to greet you all. But today I wake thinking of numbers and time. America turns 250 and I'm at least 139. Let's celebrate all, young, old, babies, or millennial, and kick off America's semi-quincentennial.
Oh, that's what it's called, a semi-quincentennial. I was wondering what you call that. Is that what it's called? A semi-quincentennial? The 250 years? Anyway.
We look to the future and not just the past. So I suppose
I suppose you all could just kiss my ass.
party could use a forecast.
Oh, never mind.
It is my job this February 2 to look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Yay! Let it end it there too, because you know, here in Minnesota we're getting sick of this shit. Although we love this shit. In fact, I'm going to an ice fishing party. I think it's in 2 weeks. My wife's family, cousins or whatever, have an ice fishing party on their grandma's lake. And the last time though, nobody caught it. Like, one person caught a little tiny fish and one with a fish like this big. So we're gonna change the spot and we're gonna do it in the evening instead of during the day. And we're not gonna forget the hookers either. Bring condoms. Okay. All right. Enough about Puxatawny Phil. Also trending, Savannah Guthrie. Now this is actually kind of sad. If you're familiar with the Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, her mom is missing. And this is kind of sad. Here's the 84-year-old woman who was reported missing in Arizona has been identified by officials as the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Let's see. Well, here's the story. I'll put the story out here too. Here it is. The Pima County Sheriff's Department announced during a news conference on Sunday that Nancy Guthrie was last seen in the Catalina Foothills area on Saturday night at approximately 9:45 p.m. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said a family member reporting her missing on Sunday around noon. Nanos said search and rescue teams have been out at Nancy Guthrie's home along with homicide teams and detectives. Foul play is not being ruled out at this time. Nancy Guthrie is described as having some physical ailments but does not have cognitive issues, her family said, according to the sheriff. NBC Universal spokesman confirmed early Monday that Nancy Guthrie was missing. We can confirm that this is a missing persons case. So, kind of feel bad. I never knew where her mom was. She was always missing for me, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, very good. Okay. And I'm not going to start playing Animal Crossing until my phone charges. Okay, well then, okay. I'm not sure that. Okay, I just sometimes read random things in the chat that I go, okay. So yeah, so that's kind of sad news. I feel bad. You know, you got to feel bad for. I feel bad for anyone whose parent or child or anything is missing. So it's just interesting that it happens to be a celebrity parent. I guess the Grammys were last night. And so there's several things trending because of the Grammys. And I'm in the category of I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Where is it?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
So there were several, Grammy winners who were like, fuck ice or whatever. I don't know if they were saying it live on the broadcast. And so it kind of made this guy Jelly Roll, I guess he won a Grammy, and it made his speech kind of stand out because he wasn't in the fuck ice crowd. He actually he said this. Oh wait, I don't know if I can play this now that I think about it. Anyway, I'm not going to play it just out of safety, but he went on and spent his whole Grammy Award saying praise Jesus. So I was like, that's newsworthy just because he wasn't saying fuck ice, but a lot of the other winners were constantly bitching about fuck ICE. For example, if you entered the Grammys illegally, do you think you'd be waved in, offered a seat at the table and a glass of champagne? No, you'd be forcibly ejected by burly security guards. F these hypocrites. And and this lady, that's a dress and her nipples are covered, so I guess it's okay to show it. Didn't leave much else to the imagination. You can freeze the scrolling on that one later. AD. And let's see, what else? Let's see. Ask Google if you needed to show your ID to get into the Grammys. Yes, you absolutely had to show a valid government-issued photo ID to get into the Grammys. So anyway, lots of people talking about that. And then somebody was bitching about Shabuzi. He's like the black country singer, and someone's mad because he didn't, he said something about being immigrants or being forced here, and some people are saying, well, black people aren't immigrants. Some of the black people were here before Columbus. And I don't know. Who knows? It's possible. Down in Florida, they had some kind of very dark-skinned natives here, probably found their way over, stuck on a boat somewhere, and ended up over here before that. But anyway, a lot of these assholes were bitching about ICE. And so that has them trending, Trevor Noah trending. And also, Donald Trump kind of mad at Trevor Noah about something he said at the Grammys. Breaking it. 1:01 a.m., President Trump ended Trevor Noah's career and threatened to sue him. It looks like I'll be sending some of my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC. So he wrote, the Grammys are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the Low Ratings Academy Awards. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can speak for Bill, but I have never been to Epstein Island nor anywhere close. Until the night's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused of being there, and not even by the fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get him straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of dollars. Ask little George Sociopathopolis and others how that all worked out. Also, ask CBS. Get ready, Noah. I'm going to have some fun with you, President Donald John Trump. So you can watch his joke if you want, because I don't even care about the Grammys. I'm done. Billie Eilish also, she was one of the most famous people to say fuck ICE on the Grammys. Ooh, edgy. All right, Kennedy Center's trending. Apparently this Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center, which I wish he wouldn't have put his name on it. I thought it was dumb, but whatever. It's going to be closing down for some renovations for a couple years too, or something like that. By the way, now I didn't really think about this because, people are bitching, oh, he put his name on the Kennedy Center. Now they're laughing because, see, everything Trump does goes to shit. Well, the Kennedy Center apparently has required multiple bailouts over the years. It existed to enrich the NGO set. They took in tax money and paid themselves and their friends millions upon millions of dollars. How can you not know basic things, or do you not know? Well, he's talking to, I don't know who he's talking about. Oh, talking to this guy. Because this guy says, oh, amazing. Everything he touches falls apart. He keeps going, leaving a disastrous wake. He's quoting, this is Aaron Rupar, that jagoff. Trump, I have determined the fastest way to bring the Trump Kennedy Center to the highest level of success, beauty, and grandeur is to cease entertainment operations for approximately a 2-year period of time with a scheduled grand reopening that will rival and surpass anything that has taken place with respect to such a facility before. And someone says, oh, the Kennedy Center was doing fine until Donald Trump interfered with it. Well, not so much. The Kennedy Center has required a lot of, like I said, bailouts. Here's an example. The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. disclosed that it has received $269.4 million in federal funding since 2016, including $42 million in grants, and last year's $25 million coronavirus earmark that was mostly used for payroll. Even during the 2020 pandemic, the center grew their net assets by $3.3 million to $505 million. Since 2016, our auditors at openthebooks.com found $114.4 million increase in net assets from $390.6 million, to which they show on here that the compensation of the officers are all like the president over $1.3 million, and all these people over 200,000, between 200,000 and 500,000 for each of their, I guess, their trustees, the officers. And then taxpayer money spent, $34,983,000. What is this? Oh, this is just they had a $10 million competitive employment, integrated employment and create, whatever the hell that is. They've been getting a shit ton of taxpayer money spent on it when it's supposed to be completely self-funding. So anyway, in fact, this is from March 2020. Kennedy Center stopped paying National Symphony Orchestra despite $25 million in coronavirus aid, according to the union. So the decision was notified just after Trump signed the stimulus bill. So it's been struggling monetarily, I guess. I don't know. They could be completely, what do you call it? Self-funded, but they're not. Simon says, you guys may have a Kennedy Center, but we've got a Kennedy Station. Well, there you go. Fan-fucking-tastic. All right. So, but believe me, everybody. What's that sound? Okay, that was weird. Hilarious video of President Trump at the Millennia premiere at the Trump Kennedy Center with U.S. Army cadets who almost got him to say beat Navy has gone viral. No one treats our military better than Trump. Okay, I don't know what that means. Anyway, I don't care about the Kennedy Center. All right, here's some headlines we got to go through real quick. And this is what I said. The title of the show here is The Insanity of It All. Let's get into the insanity that has happened over the weekend, or since our Friday show. Okay. Federal judge. Oh, this is actually a good thing. I'm sorry. This is the good one. Where's the bad ones? The bad ones are back here. Oh, these are just headlines I want to get through. This is a good one. This is federal judge denies Minnesota motion to end immigration surge. Minnesota and all the cities in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul lost their bid to have a federal court order the Department of Homeland Security to end its immigration enforcement effort in the state. U.S. District Court of Minnesota Judge Catherine Menendez on Saturday denied a motion to enjoin the federal government from continuing its immigration law enforcement surge in the Twin Cities. Quote, even in the likelihood of success on the merits and the balance of harms each weighed more clearly in favor of the plaintiffs, the court would still likely be unable to grant the relief requested, an injunction suspending Operation Metro Surge, Menendez wrote in a 30-page ruling. Now that's a weird way to put it. Hello, Chicago Mike, welcome, and also Brandon Narlo. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. And Anna Lynn's in the house. What's up? Welcome, everybody. All right, that's a weird way to put it. The likelihood of success on the merits, that would be a reason to grant their motion, but apparently she doesn't think so. She cited a federal appellate court ruling that affirmed the federal government has the right to enforce federal laws over the objection of others, and that's okay. Then why does she say the likelihood of success? The 8th Circuit Court of Appeals recently vacated a much more circumscribed, I almost said circumcised, because circumscribed injunction, which limited one aspect of the ongoing operation, namely the way immigration officers interacted with protesters and observers. Menendez says the injunction in that case was not only much narrower than the one proposed here, but it was based on a more settled precedent than that which underlies the claims now before the court. Nonetheless, the Court of Appeals determined that the injunction would cause irreparable harm to the government because it would hamper their efforts to enforce federal law. And that's the problem they have with that. If the injunction went too far, the one at issue here, halting the entire operation, certainly would. So her ruling does not address the merits of the case filed by Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison on behalf of the state and 2 cities which are named as the lawsuit's 3 plaintiffs. So that's not insanity. I don't know how they could have done that. There's no way that the courts could stop the federal government from enforcing federal law. It just makes no sense. I keep hearing this noise. It's driving me crazy. It drives me crazy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Other headlines. Apparently the identity of the border guards in the Pretty shooting, Alex Pretty, have been disclosed, so to speak. ProPublica published them, for one. And so anyway, we know the identity of the guards. And they're both Hispanic, which is interesting. 2 Hispanic guys shot a white guy for, I don't know. Anyway, the leftist media outlets have identified the 2 Border Patrol agents who were most directly involved in the Alex Pretty shooting. And this person's not going to identify them here because I think in today's environment, they shouldn't be named for their own protection. But what he can say is that the 2 agents both have Hispanic names. And while leftists might be surprised, I'm not surprised at all, says this writer. Latin Americans account for a majority of illegal aliens in America. And in 2017, it was estimated that 78% of illegal aliens came from Latin America. And I think we can come to assume that since Biden opened the border in 2021, that percentage has grown higher. I think we can also posit that very few of these people speak English with any degree of proficiency. Now, but it is interesting because, what was it, 39,000 Chinese nationals also are among that group of people across the border during the Biden years, which I'm trying to figure out how they walked across water to get to Mexico to come through the United States border. That's just, a whole thing. Anyway, so, yeah, they're both Hispanic names, and this is just an article on why it's interesting that, they want to go after some Hispanic brothers for killing a white guy. Racist. Okay, also in the headlines, Clinton appointed judge orders illegals released, claims ICE, or this illegal alien released, ICE traumatized his son. Remember the guy in the weird the bunny hat, the kid that they said, ICE was detaining a kid. No, they were trying to detain his dad. And the kid was just there, and he ran away, and the dad was, just left the kid there. And they were trying to bring him to the home where he lived, and they wouldn't open the door. So, U.S. District Judge Fred Beery has ordered the release of Adrian Conejo Arias, an illegal alien who was apprehended by ICE and Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Minneapolis, and his 5-year-old son, Liam Conejo Ramos. Beery, who was appointed by former President Bill Clinton, issued a ruling on Saturday that focused almost entirely on the child who was being held in San Antonio detention center with his father at his father's request, but blamed President Donald Trump's administration for leaving the 5-year-old traumatized. I feel bad. Look, I truly do feel bad for the kid that his dad put him in that situation. In the ruling, Beery suggested that Arias had only been swept up because ICE was attempting to meet specific quotas for deportation, adding, quote, "The case has its genesis in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportations quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children." He went on to accuse the Trump administration of taking actions against illegal aliens that were reminiscent of the actions taken by England, driving the American founders to revolt. Quote, apparently also is the government's ignorance of an American historical document called the Declaration of Independence. Wow, he's got some opinions there, don't he? Real quick, thank you, Chicago Bike, sponsored the show, first of the day. Thank you very much. Who says, so they took the son to the Leering Center. Yes, they did. No, actually, the facilities where they hold children are actually learning centers. I mean, I think they have special facilities for kids so that they're not they're not behind bars. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Judge Berry included one photo in his ruling, a photo of the child with the Spider-Man backpack and blue knitted bunny hat. Good God. This is an emotional ruling, not a fucking legal ruling. And punctuated that by quoting the New Testament. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." I'm embarrassed for this judge. I'm embarrassed for this judge. And in fact, where are all the people complaining, oh, separation of church and state? Berry's ruling ordered the pair to be freed comes after they were visited by prominent Texas politicians like Joaquin Castro and Jasmine Crockett, the latter of whom is running for the U.S. Senate. Castro went so far as to deliver the two back to Minnesota personally. Liam is home now, and we are grateful to Joaquin Castro for traveling to Minneapolis with him and his dad. Welcome home, Liam. Liam would have been at home had the people who live in there would have let him in. They tried to return Liam to his home. And Dad said, bring him, I want to bring him with me. Anyway, they've been in the headlines lots. So there you go. There's that. That's whatever. Also, let's see. New York Post, Mike Johnson confident government shutdown will end Tuesday as he shoots down. What? What government shutdown? House Speaker Mike Johnson is confident that the partial government shutdown will conclude by Tuesday, despite procedural snarls and Democratic leadership declining to guarantee critical votes. The government entered a partial shutdown at 12:01 a.m. Saturday. Did anyone even notice that? That's Saturday. Nobody cares. It should be shut down weekends. It should be done. Look, I'd be happy if the government shut down 6 months of the year every fucking year. But that's just me. And I mean non-essential services. Anyway, the government entered a partial shutdown 12:01 a.m. Saturday after Senate Democrats decided the last minute to rebuff a bipartisan funding deal that had been in the works, demanding reforms to immigration and customs enforcement. Let's say I'm confident that we'll do it at least by Tuesday. Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, told NBC Meet the Press. That means they'll have it done by June. And I don't care. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Another 5 spot in the tip jar via YouTube Super Chat saying, as a Cuban American, I trust someone with the last name of Castro. Not, yeah. You got all the one-liners today. Right on. I don't blame you. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see if that actually happens. Government shutdown, who gives a shit? As long as the checks to the people who need to live get their checks, I don't care. And all the fraudsters can fuck off. All right, moving on. Daily Wire. This is a big one too. Detransitioner awarded millions in first malpractice verdict. This is how it all ends. So on Friday, a young woman who had her healthy breast removed at age 16 for supposed transgender medical care, like a lobotomy, was awarded $2 million, marking the first successful detransitioner malpractice lawsuit in the nation. Oh, wait, that deserves one of those. Fox Varian, and that's the person's name, psychologist and surgeon, were held liable by a jury in Westchester, New York, of all places. In New York! In Westchester, New York, according to independent reporter Benjamin Ryan, who attended the 3-week trial. By the way, apparently, this Benjamin Ryan is the only reporter who attended the trial. That's weird. I mean, you'd think this would be a big case. Ryan suggested the case is just the beginning of a detransitioner lawsuits he's been following, and that ultimately these sorts of results could discourage doctors from advising or performing these types of life-altering surgeries on minors. Quote, my sources suggest that tort law might permanently destroy this field, he said. That would be just fine. Again, it's got to go the way of the lobotomy. There's no science behind it. So here it is, breaking. First detransitioner to take medical malpractice lawsuit trial wins a $2 million judgment. She sued her Westchester, New York area psychologist and plastic surgeon for the gender transition mastectomy she got at 16. I was the only reporter to attend the entire trial. I believe that's going to say. Let's look at the full post he wrote here. Yeah, I was the only reporter to attend the entire 3-week historic trial. Subscribe to my Substack, blah, blah, blah. I cover pediatric gender medicine, and especially on my Substack. Sorry to give just a teaser for now about the case, but I wanted to get the word out about the verdict promptly. So there you go. This was yesterday, or when was this? Posted this on January 30th, so a couple days ago. That's big. Now, he's also identified 28 other detransitional lawsuits filed to date. Varian Einhorn was the first to go to trial and the first to win a judgment, making history. If anyone knows of any additional cases that are not on my spreadsheet below or sees any errors, please DM me. So follow Benjamin Ryan if you're interested in following this kind of stuff. I find that to be fascinating. So that's... Let's see. Stacey Robinson, who was also in the courtroom, reported that Varian wept and hugged her mother when the verdict, which followed 3-week trial from a suit filed in 2023, came down. The verdict triggered much reaction online, including from activists and fellow detransitioners. Robbie Starbuck, in the coming years, the floodgates will be open as more go to trial. He's the director of the War on Children. Prisha Mosley, a detransitioner who is suing the medical professionals who encouraged and performed trans surgeries on her as a confused binary, reacted. The first detransitional lawsuit goes to trial and wins $2 million. May justice prevail. Let's see. Someone named Sonia Soda, very significant U.S. case. There are more in the pipeline. They are likely to fundamentally change the U.S. medical profession's approach to surgery, altering the healthy bodies of children, questioning their gender. Been a long time coming. Hell yeah, it has. And then conservative, not Stephen Miller in the White House, but the writer. This is how this all ends. So someone here says, I wouldn't start celebrating this yet, May. It's malpractice insurance will pay this, and they won't even blink an eye, and only the leached lawyers will get a payout. Doctor's license need to be a part of these deals for this to really matter. Well, look. If the malpractice insurers start having to make these payouts, it will still end it, because doctors' cost for malpractice insurance, if they perform that type of activity, will go up the fucking roof. So fuck them guys. FTG to those doctors. All right, next here, the top. Not top, but they featured headlines on X. Elon Musk slams Nolan's Odyssey casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen. And this is where I got the Helen of Detroit. Apparently, they're doing a movie about the Odyssey, right? And it's probably going to be a series. And they cast Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, which, if you ever read that, Helen of Troy is described in the book as, porcelain white skin and blonde flowing hair, whatever, which clearly Lupita Nyong'o, who's a lovely young lady, I'm not knocking Lupita Nyong'o, she's cute as hell, but not Helen of Troy. But, look, here's my opinion on this now. Studios are literally just trolling with this shit now. Literally just trolling. The backlash hit after images surfaced of Nolan's $250 million IMAX adaptation of Homer's Odyssey, set for July 17th, 2026, with Nyong'o in a flowing white chiton, I don't know what it is, by the sea. Critics online contrast her look with ancient descriptions of Helen as white-armed and golden-haired memes like Helen of Detroit, mocking the choice, while some defended her talent from 12 Years a Slave. The star-studded cast includes Matt Damon as Odysseus and Zendaya as Athena, filmed across Greece and Italy in a story of monsters, gods, and Odysseus' voyage home. So, hey, wait, okay, let's see. We was We was ancient Greeks and shit. Yeah. You know, it's right at this point. It's become just. It's become a game to Hollywood to do this, and I don't even give a fuck anymore because I don't watch any of this shit anyway, unless it comes on Netflix and I'm like just curious. So that's wild. Another feature story on X. ICE agents detained U.S. citizen Maria Sante in a tense live stream clash. The 28-year-old Aflac employee and community observer. Oh, they come up with some shit. With ICE out of L.A. was detained Friday around 2 p.m. at a Chevron station after agents surrounded her vehicle. She was charged with resisting arrest and interfering with operations, then released later that day from Santa Ana. Sante described the ordeal as feeling like her last moments. She was so scared and accused local police of denying her a restroom. Oh, the local police, not ICE. While critics called her a professional agitator who ignored a prior warning, the incident which prompted protests outside of El Monte police station that night highlights tensions between federal immigration enforcement and activists monitoring in California. So this is her.
Want to arrest me, guys? So, oh, don't shoot at my window. Open the door. Open the door. What the fuck? You guys are gonna
get the fuck out the car. You won't get shot. Not that they should shoot her.
They're gonna break my window, guys.
Well, open your door.
They're gonna take me to MDC, guys. They're gonna try to arrest me. This is insane. I can't believe this is happening, guys. Lord, please protect me. Lord, please. Guys, I don't trust them. They're gonna break their windows. They're insane. You guys, they're gonna let this happen?
Well, there's a way you can stop them from breaking your window.
These are unbelievable. These are unbelievable.
How long can I stand watching
guys, I'm
this?
Getting out, okay? Guys, my keys are in the car, please. Oh, fuck, they already broke.
Well, you didn't open the door.
You're breaking my window, guys. I'm a U.S. citizen. It's insane. Insane. This guy's breaking my window, guys. They're gonna try to arrest me. I was unlocking the door.
No, you weren't. You unlock the door and you pull the handle and you open it. It's like you want the drama. That's what it is. Look, and I don't know what they're arresting her for. Okay, I'm not convinced that everything they do is smart. And look, people who do dumb shit should probably be disciplined for it. But otherwise, though, I'm worried about them breaking my window, and so you open the door. What are you going to do? They'll arrest you. You'll probably be released in an hour and a half, after they process you, because they're not holding anybody for this shit, which maybe they should. But it's like, what? If this happened to me, whether I thought it was correct or not, I'm just going to open the door and fucking deal with it later. Even if this, I think it's completely, they're in the wrong. It's a point where you go, well, look, I don't have to look, but I don't think my auto class company or my insurance covers my side windows when someone breaks it open because they're arresting me. So I'm just going to, make sure my windows are in place. I'm going to get out. I'll get the handcuffs. And it's not, this isn't even a comply thing. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just like, this is a stupidity thing. Good morning, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
This is just dumb. Insurance does not cover a cop breaking your window. No, I know that. I was being facetious, but anyway.
Guys, my phone's under here.
So she threw her phone underneath. So apparently, I don't know, it sounds like she got out of the car. If her phone's down there, I'm not going to watch any more of this.
No, you're not, because I'm...
Yeah, okay, wait.
Oh, no, you're not, because I'm listening to you. You don't have to threaten me.
Well, then get the fuck out the car!
You are threatening me. Yes, you are.
so anyway, then the rest is the arrest. Look, as you read the people, like if you look at Nick Sorter, who's totally pro this, and pro ICE and pro Trump and everything. FAFO alert: after days of obstructing ICE operations in Los Angeles, leftist agitator Maria Sante is crying on camera as agents finally move in to arrest her. These people think they're immune, and this chick just learned she's wrong the hard way. I scroll down. Now in this one, ICE detains U.S. citizen legal observer. What exactly is a legal observer? See, now I was having this argument with someone the other day, and saying, well, you can legally take video if ICE do their job, right? Well, sure you can, from a distance. Hello, now what studios? My dear friend Wu from high school. What's up? Good morning, PDawg. POTUS insurrection or not? What's your call? Yeah, it kind of is. This organized shit. But look, just like if a police, let's say you're in your hometown, okay, and a police officer with its lights on has a vehicle stopped on the side of the road, and you pull up and are park right next behind the police officer and get out and starts filming. What's the police officer going to tell you? They're going to tell you to get back. And if you don't get back, you'll be arrested for interfering with this, because you are interfering. Look, they have to be cognizant of everything around them. And if there's a car coming up driving right behind them as they're out in operation, you don't know what the person in that car is going to do. I think I put a video out about this, didn't I? I put a little short video about this. What the police chief of Chicago said about that. They can't take a chance on you being some psycho getting ready to ram them or stalking them or whatever. You cannot be close to an emergency vehicle, or you'll get arrested. So I'm assuming that these people following people around too close can be considered a threat by law enforcement officials. Now, they're just, if they're way behind or they're out, something in the neighborhood and someone pulls out a phone, that's not obstructing. But if you're following them in your vehicle closely, you got a bunch of people following, they can only, they have to assume every possibility, including the worst possibility. So, you absolutely have a right to record or whatever they're doing, but you got to stay out of their way. And I'm assuming that a lot of these people get in their way or block roads or whatever. That is obstructing them. That is interfering. So I don't know what this woman's done, if she's been chasing them around for weeks and getting too close. Maybe they have a reason to arrest her. I don't know. But at the point where they say, we are arresting you, let's go the Dr. Martin Luther King route and get arrested and then deal with it later, instead of getting your window broken. So anyway, but the way this person, listen to this. ICE detains citizen legal observer. Oh, sounds so innocent. So innocent. She was live streaming during an arrest. Don't shoot out my window, she yells. I'm getting out. Agents shatter car window and drag her out even after she agreed to comply. Did she though? The video seems to counter that, completely counter that. They can't hear her through the window. She's talking to her phone and she's refusing to get out. What do you mean? After she after she agreed to comply, is that what you saw? Did anybody see that? I didn't see that. It's crazy. Hassan Piker. Oh, suck my dick, ICE. Oh, way to go, tough guy. He's at a protest in Los Angeles.
What do you think about Democrats saying that we need to abolish ICE? Do you think they should go past abolishing ICE? Is that just like the bare minimum they can do at this point?
Absolutely. I don't want to just abolish ICE. I want to prosecute ICE. I want to punish ICE. And unfortunately,
on what charge?
Democrats are saying any of those things. As a matter of fact, as Chuck Schumer.
Punish them for what? Prosecute them for what, Hassan?
Team Jeffries both flopped on this moment as expected once again, and they pushed the buck down the line when there's very clearly a lot of resentment, a lot of anger brewing against ICE for everything that ICE has been doing. And you know, if they don't meet the moment, we'll keep protesting. We'll put the pressure on them as well. Anyone that doesn't get on board with this message is our enemy.
Do you want to?
Oh, it's our enemy. That's very specific language there, Hassan. Why does he have a press on his plateless plate? You know, I don't know, because he doesn't work for the Young Turks anymore. I guess he considers himself press just because he's a Twitch streamer. Which didn't he get banned from Twitch again, like for the 7th time or 8th time? American Brandon marching the snowfall because these people are just taken. Alert! Meet Maria Sante, hardcore leftist agitator with ICE out of LA. ICE warned her 2 days ago to stop obstructing their operations. She ignored it, kept tailing and stalking agents like a pro. Yesterday, they boxed her in, smashed her car window while she live streamed, crying, "Lord, protect me," dragged her out and arrested her. I didn't hear the dragging out part. It sounded like she got out of the car on her own and they told her to turn around. They didn't drag her out. Did anyone get the idea that she was dragged out of her car? She literally, if they dragged her out of her car, how could they tell her to turn around? And so they could cuff her. That's weird. Anyway, she's a U.S. citizen, but apparently thinks community observer means professional obstructionist. Bonus, she works as a business benefits advisor at Aflac in Monrovia, California. Wonder if her employer knows their employee is playing vigilante against federal law enforcement. So that's interesting. A lot of people talking about it. Next. Thomas Massey, apparently a Trump PAC, political action committee, is putting out ads against Thomas Massey in the Kentucky primaries for his congressional seat. I personally hope they fail. Look, whatever you think of Thomas Massey, and sometimes he goes against the Trump line, I think he might be, as annoying as he can be sometimes, the most principled person in Congress. And I don't think you should get rid of him. But on January 30th, the Justice Department disclosed, over 3 million pages from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, including 2,000 videos and 180,000 images, thanks to the bipartisan Epstein File Transparency Act, co-sponsored by Thomas Massey and Representative Ro Khanna. Hours later, the pro-Trump super PAC, MAGA Kentucky, Pro-MAGA Kentucky Net Worth filed for $403,000 in TV ads against Massey ahead of his May 19th Republican primary against Trump-backed Ed Galbraith. Massey criticized the funding from donors like Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson, while supporters praised his transparency push, and critics said he neglects Trump priorities like tax cut and border securities. Now, he didn't... He wasn't neglecting those things, but he voted against omnibus bills. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, Thomas Massey's a mixed bag, but I think he's good for Congress. I think they need him. But anyway, he wrote within hours of the Epstein file release, a super PAC funded by Israel's first billionaires, Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson, who himself appears in the Epstein's Black Book, bought another $800,000 of TV ads against me. I'll still win, but if I lose, it was worth it. I can't argue with Thomas Massey. He was right on the Epstein files, and I just think they need to be out and they need to figure it out. Because, but here's the other problem. You know what I want when it comes to that shit? I don't give a fuck about the files. I want to see some perp walks of some of the assholes who participated in the shit. So I don't know if they're making the videos and images public. I hope they're not doing that. I really hope they're not doing that. But I hope they can, all that shit can be used as evidence. That's what I'm hoping. Fuck all them assholes. I don't care who they are. Bottom and top. Special Can Acid says nothing will be done. Again, I'm waiting for Perk Box. By the way, welcome. How you doing, Special Can Acid? All right. Other feature stories. Agent smash into Utah auto shop and detain 2 men, sparking a rights debate. Now, this is one of those where I go, oh, dude, what are you doing? This is not, the optics on this, again, the other day I was talking about how sometimes the optics are just all wrong and they may have done something illegal here. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents broke into Viper Auto Body in West Valley City, Utah this week, detaining employee Wilmer Menjivar and the shop owner after Menjivar fled inside from unmarked vehicles. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hang on a second. I read this wrong. I may have this wrong. Let me see here. So he fled into this shop. Lily, Menjivar's wife, confronted the agents who admitted breaking the window without showing a warrant. Both men have no criminal records. Immigration attorney Carlos Turillo argued the entry likely violated Fourth Amendment rules as no judicial warrant or exigent circumstances like hot pursuit from the lawful stop appeared to apply, fueling divides between critics decrying overreach and supporters backing enforcement powers. Now I'm confused. Because as I read, the first time I read this, I didn't catch the part where the person they were chasing fled into the shop. There's some problems here. Now, this is Republicans against Trump. Trump goons broke into a locked auto body shop in Utah and searched for undocumented workers. That's not what this says. This says, after Menjivar fled inside from unmarked vehicles. So, can they enter a building that someone fled into? I don't know the rules on that. Any lawyers in the house? Ah, yes, no warrant to go get the murderers they saw go into a private building. That's what I'm confused. So he fled into the building. Okay, so this is how Republicans against Trump put it. Trump goons broke into a locked auto body shop in Utah and searched for undocumented workers. Was it? No. It was for a very specific person who fled into the building. When told they had no warrant, their response, "We don't need one." They might not need one in that case. Can police pursue an assailant who goes into a private building? Can they attempt to grab them if it's a person that they are chasing? That's not the same as needing a warrant. I missed that completely. Now, so let's see how other people are putting this. Breaking, Border Patrol agents literally smashed through the glass door of a locked auto body shop without a warrant to detain the shop owner and an employee in West Valley City, Utah. Yes, agents are violating the Constitution all over the country, not just in Minnesota. In the video, 2 agents are already standing inside the body shop when the owner's wife asks them the most basic constitutionally required question, "Do you have a warrant?" They illegally ignore her request and instead tell her to stay back. She continues demanding to see a warrant. And then they say the quiet part out loud. "We don't need one." They absolutely do. Do they, though? If they're pursuing him into the building, I don't know if they do. If they just went in there randomly, they just, "Oh, we're looking for illegal aliens. We're going to break into this shop and whatever," then they would be that'd be a major breach of constitutionality. If they were in pursuit of someone that they were chasing, that might be different. I don't know for 100% because I'm not a lawyer, but that changes the conditions significantly as far as I'm concerned. They continue ignoring her, illegally breaking into a locked private business while ordering her to back up inside her own workplace. The agents then began questioning the shop owner and an employee despite not knowing their status, having zero probable cause. She tells them, "My lawyer's coming. Do you want to get sued?" And the agents laugh. Sit with that. Border Patrol agents force. This is obviously someone against them. But if this happens the way she's saying, and that wasn't they were pursuing somebody, then she's absolutely right. They would need a warrant to go in there. The agents have been on camera that they broke the glass to enter the private property. She says, "That's why you had to break in, because you don't have a warrant?" The agent says again, it's because we don't need one. They detained the shop owner and the employee anyway after breaking in without a warrant, despite both men having no criminal records. This is a blatant form of violation. So when you have suspected evidence of legal activity that caused you to enter a building, I think there's some provision for that. I'm not sure. So far I'm only reading the ones. Oh my God, this person's comparing it to Crystal Knock. Oh, good God. Let's see. They're replying to Bill Crystal. ICE and CB agents seem to enjoy gratuitously breaking glass from car windows to storefronts to homes. It's an expression of unchecked power of dominance. We're in charge. We break and shatter what we want. And nights of broken glass have been a harbinger of things to come. Holy fuck. That, talk about a complete and utter misunderstanding or just mistelling of what Crystal Knock was. Holy shit. These people, I swear to God, they love their Nazi references. So if they did do that, though, they absolutely have fucked up. That's what I'm saying. And again, and everyone's showing the aftermath. Two News Tonight obtained video showing the aftermath of a Border Patrol arrest at West Valley Auto Body Shop, where agents broke through a glass door and detained 2 employees who ran inside and locked the door. Who ran inside and locked the door. That's KUTV Channel 2, probably out of that area. That's fascinating. Where it starts is not where it ends up. We're seeing this in progress. As bad as this is, it's not where we will end up. You guys, I'm gonna wait till the rest of the story. I want to wait for the rest of the story because all I see right now is the people who are anti-Trump talking about it. ICE is not law enforcement. ICE is a dictator's private army. This is Joe Walsh. You guys, look, you motherfuckers. You talk about ramping up the rhetoric. That's Joe Walsh, former congressman. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. The first Streamlabs sponsor of the day, which makes you.
You are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. With a small bullet tip jar in the tip jar, 223 said it would be covered under exigent circumstances. They can chase you on to private property, even breaking down doors if in pursuit. That's what I'm that's a different story. If they just randomly smashed looking for illegal aliens, then that'd be a problem. But that's not what they did. It sounds like they chased them into a building. Let's see the community notes. Someone's proposed some community notes on this. Let's see what that is. ICE Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents generally do not need a judicial warrant signed by a judge to make arrests, as they often use administrative warrants, blah, 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 signed by supervisors. Well, that's interesting. And if they were pursuing people, that's a little bit different story, but it still may, I don't know on that one. I was going to use that as a bad example. All right, moving on. Trump demands action on Minnesota massive welfare fraud scandal. He did a Truth Social post. The theft and fraud in Minnesota is far greater than the $19 billion originally projected. The Biden administration knew this fraud was happening and did absolutely nothing about it. Scammer Ilhan Omar and her absolutely terrible friends from Somalia should be in jail right now, or far worse, send them back to Somalia. Oh my God. Governor Waltz, he put Waltz like the Viennese waltz, is neither the most corrupt government official in history or the most incompetent. Even a very low IQ person, of which there are many, should have known what was going on in Minnesota, President Donald Trump. To which Walz replies, well, Minnesota may be known for our lakes, Bob Dylan and Prince, but our civic engagement run deeper. If Donald Trump intended to make an example out of Minnesota, then I am damn proud of that example. Tim Walz just needs to shut the fuck up. And personally, I just wish Donald would let the authorities deal with this now. Benny Johnson says FBI Director Kash Patel confirms more arrests are coming over monumental fraud in Minnesota. There will be more arrests. We surged resources in Minnesota government officials. If any participated in this, they will be apprehended. So there you go. And Leading Report says breaking, Donald Trump calls for the deportation of Ilhan Omar and her Somali fraudster friends. So that's what the headline you get out of that post is. Wow. Okay. Let's move on, and then this Walter Hudson. All right, the main topic today is some just crazy shit going on. Just some crazy shit going on. What did I call this show? The insanity of it all. Well, first let's start with Deputy AG Todd Blanche was on Stephanopoulos talking about Don Lemon, and a lot of people arguing about the Don Lemon case over the weekend. What I notice about this is the vast majority of people discussing us on X or even online or even like the guy from TMZ, whatever his name is. They all seem to be getting this from the telephone game. Like none of them have bothered to go and watch the video that Don Lemon still has on his YouTube site of what they did and how they did it and everything. Because a lot of people, they all seem to think, a lot of them, who are complaining that they just arrested a journalist for doing journalisming. They all seem to think that, well, Don Lemon just happened upon this protest that was going to church and just followed him, and then just started interviewing people. He was just doing journalism. He had no any idea what they were going to do, and he didn't have anything to do with them or whatever. We watched some of that video where he's at the planning meeting. He's hugging the organizer. He's like, oh yes, this is, it's time to go make them feel uncomfortable and whatever. And he shuts off his cameras when they're doing the details because, oh, that's journalism. And then he turns the cameras back on when it's convenient. And then he helps some of them get unstuck. He knows exactly where to go. He goes to the church without the cameras because he doesn't want to, have anyone think what's up. Why is Don Lemon coming in here? As if anyone would recognize his stupid ass anyway. And it's like he facilitated the whole thing and then tried to make havoc by doing interviews and stuff. They asked him to leave. He didn't leave. He interviewed more people, and nobody talking about this seems to know any of these details, except for a few people who actually watched the entire freaking thing like I did. So it's like they're all getting it from the telephone game. Oh, well, he saw them go in the church and like, oh, what's going on? It's just bullshit. So anyway, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche annihilates Stephanopoulos over Lemon. Now, anytime I see a headline like this, you're obviously going to get the selected clip that supports what this person wrote as a headline. So I'm going to give it with a grain of salt, but I didn't watch the Stephanopoulos interview, but I will show you the part that he claims annihilates Don Lemon. Let's try right here.
So when do you believe that Mr. Lemon crossed the line from reporting on what was going on to criminal activity?
Conveniently missing from what you just showed, George, is the appellate court and a judge on the appellate court who said just a few days later there was clearly probable cause and it wasn't even a close question. So, and by the way, a grand jury, which is what our system has set up to determine whether probable cause exists, concluded that there was probable cause. That indictment is now public. Everybody in this country can pull it up and read for themselves and see what the grand jury found that Mr. Lemon did. I am not going to comment on the charges specifically because it's not appropriate, but it's interesting that we talk about the First Amendment right. You have a right of freedom of religion, which is just as important as any other right that we have. And George, I don't know if you've watched the videos or read the indictment about what it's alleged that Mr. Lemon did, but if anybody in this country thinks that is, quote, independent journalism, I would like to have a conversation with you. Now, he's obviously has a very good lawyer. He can raise defenses in court to the extent he wants to, but nobody in this country should feel comfortable storming into a church while it's ongoing and disrupting that church service and thinking that we're just going to stand by and let that happen because there is a statute that does not allow that to happen. It doesn't matter if you happen to be a former CNN journalist. It doesn't matter if you're a rioter. It doesn't matter if you think you're peacefully protesting. You are not allowed to do that.
I'm going to call him out too. Apparently, Attorney General Todd Blanche hasn't watched any of the video. Shut up, George. Hasn't watched what happened either, because that's not how they did it. They didn't storm into a church, okay? They very clandestinely went into the church with a bunch of white folks and all sat in the pews pretending that they were there to worship. And maybe no one noticed that there was a bunch of extra people in church today. And at a planned time, they all got up and started screaming and yelling, disrupting the church. So it's a difference from storming the church. Don Lemon didn't storm into church. They were very clandestine, but their goal to disrupt the service and their overjoyed reaction to them actually shutting it down, yelling, "We shut this shit down. We shut this down." That's the problem. Okay. So again, this is the whole, and then now the whole telephone thing is, well, you got people online saying, well, they stormed the church. Well, they didn't exactly storm the church, but they did plan they planned the major disruption of protesting in a church, which is illegal under the FACE Act. So everyone's telling this story wrong. Anyway, let's see. You can read the article yourself, but that's one of them. Now, this is some of the insanity I was talking about. So a federal judge has protected Luigi Mangione from the death penalty in this case where this first-degree murder case where he killed the CEO of what is not Health Partners, whatever the company's called. I'll remember in a second. Listen to this. Judge Gregory Caro in New York State argued that Luigi Mangione, the leftist, I'll put terrorist in quote marks, but it's a form of terrorism if you're going out and murdering CEOs, wasn't a terrorist because he said he wasn't. Judge Gregory Caro argued that Luigi Mangione was wrongly being charged as a terrorist since the radical terrorist objective, quote, was not to threaten, intimidate, or coerce, but rather draw attention to what he perceived as the greed of the insurance industry. Say what? Rather than following the law, Caro chose to read the most sympathetic interpretation in Luigi's writing. Quote, the defendant's apparent objective, as stated in his writings, was not to threaten, intimidate, or coerce, just to murder, but rather to draw attention to what he perceived as the greed of the insurance industry, the judge wheeled. The defendant emphasized that he wished to spread a message of and win public support about everything wrong with our health system by committing murder, you asshole. Sorry. Hi, Digiworm. And Zed Starkey. And Reaction Puerto Rico. Judge Caro argues that the defendant explicitly contrasted himself with Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, because he indiscriminately mail-bombed innocents and crossed the line to terrorist, the worst thing a person can be. Well, wait a minute. So do you have to indiscriminately kill people to be considered a terrorist? What if he went around after this one and didn't get caught and then started going after other CEOs? Would that be considered what? So Luigi has pled guilty? No, he hasn't. But he's enjoining them from seeking the death penalty in this case. So more of the same now at the federal level, where Judge Margaret Garnett, a recent Biden appointee, decided that Luigi Mangione stalking Brian Thompson in order to kill him wasn't a crime of violence. Judge Garnett, a Biden appointee, noted the apparent absurdity, arguing the analysis contained in the balance of this opinion may strike the average person, and indeed many lawyers and judges, as tortured and strange, and the result may seem contrary to our intuitions about the criminal law. But stalking a man in order to kill him, according to the Biden judge, isn't a crime of violence, and has decided to foreclose the death penalty as an available punishment to be considered by a jury. First-degree murder. The only thing tortured and strained here is that the Democrats are trying not to pretend they're bailing out a leftist terrorist. Had Luigi Mangione wore a red cap and hunted down and killed a liberal judge, all of a sudden, all of these rulings would be the opposite of what they are. And tortured and strange parts of them would be the sound of the law creaking to be bent backwards the other way. We know that's the truth. It's insane. It's insanity. But speaking of insanity, we have some mayors and or mayor candidates that may be trying to beat out that twisted logic. Let's start with a candidate for mayor in Oakland, California, who has called on the gang leaders of Oakland to begin fighting ICE. This asshole. Democratic Long Beach, California mayoral candidate Rogelio Martinez invited 55 gang leaders to join him Monday, peacefully protesting against immigration and customs enforcement in a video posted on social media Friday. He's one of the 5 declared candidates for the election to lead the city of about 450,000 people. Let's watch his video. This is amazing.
My name is Rogelio Martinez.
Hi, Rogelio.
I am calling all 55 gangs in my beautiful city. I expect a gang leader from every gang, all 55 gangs, and I'm not going to name them by name, but I'm calling the Latino gangs. I'm calling the Cambodian gangs. I'm calling the Filipino gangs. I'm calling the black gangs. I'm calling the Pacific Islander gangs.
There are a lot of gangs.
I'm calling all gang leaders.
We all in the same
to meet
gang.
Me right here, Long Beach City Hall, this coming Monday. Why Monday? Specifically, I need you to be here to meet me in person to take back this city. Because our leadership is not doing anything about it.
What does that mean?
And our police
What does that mean,
powerless.
take back our city?
Once again, let me be very clear. My name is Rogelio Martinez, your 2026 Long Beach City Mayor, and I need your help. I need to see 55 gang leaders here this coming Monday. We need to take back the city. Enough is enough.
Could you imagine if he was just like a Fed? And all the gang leaders show up and all of them end up in handcuffs. That would suck because there'd be some fucking blood in the streets after that. But anyway.
ICE needs to get out of Long Beach.
Come out and play.
And this is the only way that I know how to get them out. Peacefully, but with strong force.
Oh, peacefully, but with strong force.
But peacefully.
What does that mean?
And remember, the police are not at fault. The police are not doing anything wrong. I'm not here to defund the police. I stand with...
Fuck it, then I ain't coming because I want you to defund the fucking police. Yeah. I'm channeling some gang leaders.
My Long Beach police officers, my men and women that serve the Long Beach Police Department. But they are powerless.
Wait, Long Beach?
They're powerless.
I thought they said Oakland. Is this in Long Beach? Oh, shit. Yeah, it's in Long Beach. That's where my mother lives. Oh, my God.
Against ICE. I need your help.
But I'm assuming that my mother's probably at some of these protests.
To meet me here this coming Monday. And we need to take back Long Beach. Enough is enough.
What does that mean, take back Long Beach? What do you want the 55 gang leaders to do to take back Long Beach? I don't even know what that means. Anyway, yeah, that's scary. And then another mayor, the mayor of Seattle, or no, excuse me. He said, yeah, Seattle mayor. This is Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson. Is there a light beeping sound? Is that my? I wonder if that's my dryer. Anyway, far left Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson announced a new set of measures on Thursday designed to disrupt federal immigration enforcement activities within the city. Even as officials acknowledge, there is no evidence of particularly increased activity by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement or Customs and Border Patrol in Washington. The plan includes allocating $4 million in city funds to provide legal and financial assistance to illegal immigrants, prohibiting ICE from using city-owned property for civil immigration enforcement, and directing the Seattle Police Department to, quote, investigate, verify, and document ICE activity, end quote. City Department will also conduct privacy reviews to restrict data sharing, update employee training, and post signage on municipal properties designating certain areas as private spaces. So she's actively going out to obstruct federal immigration enforcement. It's kind of like what they did here. And that's just a way to disaster. Fine. You're going to push them all out into the streets then. You're not going to get any cooperation? Well, then they're going to go in the streets and do their job. I don't get it. Wilson said the actions are meant to be preventative, whoever you are and wherever you come from. If Seattle is your home, then this is your city, she said. And it's our responsibility as city leaders to move quickly and get organized so we can keep people safe. Who are they keeping safe by doing this? I don't get it. Do you have a task force in Seattle that keeps bank robbers safe? If someone goes after the bank robbers? Oh, you do hear the beep? I'm just curious. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, the mayor also announced the creation of a Stand Together Seattle initiative to encourage private property owners to restrict access to their premises. Despite acknowledging that there is no current surge in federal immigration enforcement, Wilson and other city officials described the measures as necessary to prepare for potential future actions by federal authorities. So, yeah, there's not even increased action in Seattle right now. Maybe she might be inviting it, though, by doing stupid shit like that. But she's, talk about a whacked out leftist mayor. Holy shit. And in Boston, I bet you heard that, didn't you? That was my stomach. And in Boston, well, they found some footage of the Boston mayor. Now, this is not current footage, but it kind of gives you an idea where the mayor of Boston's coming from. Democratic Mayor Michelle Wu of Boston, Massachusetts, is going viral for saying that every human on earth has the legal right to come to the USA. Now, while that may technically be true in some way or another, doesn't mean they can just walk in and stay for how long they want. You know, technically every human on earth probably has the right. Well, maybe some of the Ayatollah Khomeini or some terrorist motherfuckers that they know are terrorists, they're not going to let them come in. But Wu's comments have resurfaced and are once again gaining thousands of comments from outraged Americans. In a video clip of an interview from March, Wu is seen saying every single human being has the legal right to come to the United States and seek shelter. Here's the clip.
Every person, every human being has the legal right to come to the United States and seek asylum or shelter. And
really? Now that's weird that she put the word asylum in there, because I'm sure she's one of these people who are really into international law. And really, international law has there are some rules to seeking asylum. Like, you usually have to seek asylum somewhere where you can walk to. Technically, or at least, the first country that you come across that could take your asylum claim, that's kind of how it's supposed to work. But for some reason, they seem to think that, as long as you get here, you should be able to seek asylum. And that's not really how it's supposed to work. For example, even the people coming up through South America or whatever, like they say they're coming from, let's say they're coming from Colombia. Okay. They're coming from Colombia because the drug traffickers or whatever took over a city, and they're like, oh, we need some asylum. Well, it would seem like you would have to stop in maybe at least Guatemala before you get to here and seek asylum there. Like, how are you seeking asylum in the United States? We're not a contiguous, you're not the next place that you can seek asylum. Or maybe you could go south. You could seek asylum in Chile or Brazil. But no, you're coming across like 17 countries to get here from Colombia. Is Colombia 17 countries away? Well, not 17, but you know what I mean. Or even better yet, you know those 39,000 Chinese nationals that entered the country through the Mexican border from China?
China is asshole.
How the fuck could that be seeking asylum from China through here? You could go to India, you could go to Russia, you can go to Mongolia, you can go to someplace you can walk to. If you can't walk there, you shouldn't be able to seek asylum there. But they're coming from an old other fucking continent. You had to cross water. You needed a travel agent to get your ass to Mexico just so you could cross our border. How the fuck does that work? That's not what did Avocado say. You're supposed to seek asylum, then come, not the other way around. Yeah, exactly, that too. Even if you could do it that way, you have to ask, you got to get the asylum part first. You can't just show up. I'm in Colorado, I'm seeking asylum. What? How the fuck did you get to Colorado from China? So anyway, like I said, so technically, yeah, sure, you can come to America. That means you can seek shelter here just on a willy-nilly. Could you imagine of all, 9 billion people who are in the United States? I might go buy a ranch and, well, I guess not everyone from Europe's going to come here, but you know what I'm saying? This is silly. It's dumb shit to say. So there you go. You can read the rest of the article yourself. All right. Oh my God, I didn't even see the time. You know what? I hate to do this. This is what I do every day. I got to leave. I got to go. I got shit to do. So thank you for joining me today. Sorry I didn't get all the, by the way, before I go though, a couple things. If you're not familiar with Nick Freitas, I think he's a assemblyman or whatever in Virginia. But he also has a lot of good, does a lot of good stuff on YouTube and Instagram and whatever. He has a TikTok or whatever. I put one of his videos here, the worst rhinos in America, talking about dumbass Republicans that don't necessarily articulate our needs in the United States. And so I put his channel here with that particular video, but I highly suggest you subscribe to him. And I got a couple other articles here. Let me just go through the headlines real quick. Let's see, we did Boston Mayor already. About the left-wing groups finally discovering the Second Amendment. They're all, now that this Alex Preddy guy has been shot, now a bunch of left-wingers are starting to buy guns, and they're all about the Second Amendment now, which is, I suppose that's good, because then they'll shut the fuck up about it. But, sometimes their intentions are bad. So you got to be careful if you're into that shit. Also, this one is a blogger talking about the new American crisis. What would happen if Republicans lose control of Congress in the midterms in November? Goes through some scenarios and it's a great article. There's a whole lot of stuff that talk about Mangione and stuff. I highly recommended read. In the American Thinker, when a leftist doxer gets doxed, we talked about how those, was it the Blue Lives Matter group or whatever? There were some leftists who were doxing people in their, like, these signal groups, chat groups or whatever. And so apparently someone went in there and doxed those doxers, saying that they were harboring ICE agents. So now the protesters are going to the doxers' houses. Not sure if that's actually happened, because I haven't heard anything, follow up on that, but it is funny if they did it. So that's there. In what's in here? In the Federalist, peaceful ICE arrest of 650 aliens in West Virginia proves Democrats are manufacturing the chaos in Minnesota. Yeah, well, like we said, in Memphis, West Virginia, other parts of the country, you're not hearing the chaos in all parts of the country. Only in some of the, like, real leftist places, like sanctuary cities, where you're hearing the problem. But they've been, they're working all over the country right now. So it's a good article on that. Daily Wire, what was this one? Oh, yeah, Belgium is investigating the arrest and detention of Billboard Chris. So he got... Billboard Chris was in Belgium doing his shtick and talking to people about gender transition and children, and they just out talking to people in the street until a mob started forming around them and they're threatening them. So they called the police, and like, what was it? How many police showed up? There was 7 cars of police officers showed up, And instead of protecting them, they arrested them. And so now there's a case going on in Belgium about that. They released them, and he's gone about his business. But now finally, the country of Belgium is investigating why did this guy get arrested, or at least the incident itself. And then Breitbart, about the Melania documentary. I don't care about that. But what's interesting, a lot of people are saying, oh, the Melania documentary flopped. And I thought, oh, well, yeah, it must have had a really bad box office. Well, it did have 8 million in its opening weekend, which is the most for any documentary in the last 10 years. Now, I have no interest in seeing it. I don't care about seeing a documentary about Melania Trump, but some people are. And so, you know, I'm sure Trump supporters are out there enjoying it. So yeah, the idea that it flopped, well, it did better than any documentary in the last 10 years. And PJ Media, comedians, there's a comedian who had a sold out show here in Minnesota, but he made some jokes about what's her name? Renee Good. He made some Renee Good jokes, and so his show got canceled in Minnesota. So he's you can watch the videos though. And I'm torn. I am very torn on the subject of making memes or jokes about Renee Good and Preddy, whatever his name is. Only because, you know what? They didn't deserve to die. They died because of the circumstances they were in. But I didn't like it when they were making memes about Charlie Kirk. I don't like it when they make memes about any dead people. And especially if the memes aren't funny. But the memes, period. I'm not big on that. I'm just like, that's some insensitive shit. Now, if you want to do that 6 months down the road, well, you can do it right now if you want to. I don't care if you do, but it's not my thing. Unless it's really super funny. Like if it's like not degrading the person, but the situation, I don't care about that. But you know, y'all, yeah, I see all's fair in love and war, all things are open to be made fun of. That's true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's not my thing. I'm not a fan of it. So on that note, I got to get out of here. Thank you folks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Let me drop these links in the chat in a moment. And then we'll say bye-bye. But I'm waiting for this thing to pop up. I should have done this 5 minutes ago. I wish I knew what that fucking beeping was. It must be my dryer. Anyway, there you go. There's that. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Here's the links from today and plus more, plus the aggregator. Here are the links. Bam. There you go. That's it. I gotta go. See you tomorrow. My name is PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye. Bye.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.